Okay, so moving into the bedroom, we have some plants in here as well. So I have a balcony off my bedroom, which is lovely, and I've got some plants hanging there. There used to be more, but I've actually sold some of the plants because I'm not taking everything with me. So I've cut down a little bit, but you can see that I have a reasonable amount of plants. Little propagation station there. And over here, I cut this in half the other day. This is my maidenhair fern. When I took it out, it was getting dried out every single day. So when I took it out of the pot, I noticed that it was just all roots. There was no soil left. So I broke up the roots a bit and repot and cut it in half. And I had to do that with a knife. And then I repotted it. And as you can see, it's having a reaction to that. And some of the fronds are coming off. However, it will bounce back. It's still got some nice growth coming through, and it's spring here now, so it'll be okay. This should not be happy here. This is right in the doorway. It's quite far away from the light, so it just gets the ambient light from the room. And it gets a lot of wind, so probably not that much humidity, but for some reason, it just loves growing there. I've had maidenhair ferns in the past that I've tried to grow, and they've never grown successfully for me. They've always dried out and died or melted or different things happen to them. But this one just seems to go from strength to strength. So we'll just watch that with the move and see how it reacts to whatever new spot I put it in. If we move over here, you can see that this is the top cut of that Monstera albo I was talking to you about yesterday, or only about half an hour ago for you guys. And this one is coming out with some nice new leaves. This was the latest leaf about a week ago. It's popping out a leaf every week now, which is terrific. It does need another moss pole, an extension. Well, with this one, I'll probably do that. Even if I don't move in the next 2 weeks, I'll probably put an extension on that one, simply because I want to protect the fragile new growth. That's another little fern that I'm growing. This one did die back completely over winter, and I just left it and watered it very sparingly, and it's now growing back. It's very pretty. Look at that. It's really nice. And I'm hoping that it might actually turn into something that looks like that one. Well, that one did in a little while. But for the moment, that's quite happily growing here. Again, I face sort of southwest, I guess, the south. And there is the massive hole for the construction, which is going to be noisy today. I think I'm working from home today, which is why I'm recording this for you now. But anyway, let's get back to this little room tour and then we can go. That's a crocodile fern that I've got growing. And again, I had different plants here, but I've sold them. So I've just put some plants because just to have a place to put them. I've just put a few here until I move. This is another Tradescantia tricolor, which is getting quite sun-stressed, as you can see. So I'll be careful with it and see what happens to it. But yeah, this is a Micans, which needs a chop or or curling up anyway. But the Micans leaves are so pretty. But as you can see, they do get smaller if you grow them down. That's the size of that one. Do a comparison if I can move this arm. Hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm not very good at the camera work, but that's a leaf from towards the top, and then this one is a leaf from the bottom, which is quite a bit smaller. Anyway, I have another fern there. That one's growing nicely and well. I think that's a Boston fern. And underneath it, I've got some Syngonium, just a pot of Syngonium. This gets basically no light whatsoever. Nothing but just the natural ambient light that comes in, and yet it's growing quite well. It actually looks brighter on the camera than it does in real life. This is my white knight, and philodendron white knight, and it's going from strength to strength. Look at the beauty in these leaves. I'm hoping it will get much larger, which is why it's on the very tall moss pole. But this is already a cut down moss pole, so I've done a chop and repot once on this. But the colors in it are just gorgeous. So what I will do is when I move, I will chop it in half, repot the top, cut the bottoms for nodes, and sell those on Facebook Marketplace. So other people can enjoy it as well. But that's a beautiful plant. And then if we move over to here, I don't know what this one is called, but I've had it, God, for 10 years or more. It's very pretty. It comes out with these lovely little pink flowers every now and then. And it's sort of architectural, so I kind of like it. I did know what it was called. Somebody gave me a cutting of it, as I said, more than 10 years ago when a girl at work had one of these as a very, very bushy plant on her desk. And she said to me, take a cutting. So I did. And that is just a little marble queen that I just pot up some cuttings in, and that's looking very healthy. Here are some more fiddly figs, which are growing, and these ones have actually produced roots. So that's terrific. For some reason, this area in my bedroom is a really great place to produce roots, so I'm happy about that. I have got a neon gold pothos cutting in the water because neon gold pothos, or all pothos, actually have a rooting hormone, natural rooting hormone that they impart into the water, and then other plants can take it up and it helps with establishing their roots. This is a Peperomia orbifolia. I showed you another bit of one earlier in the tour. So this is just this, I guess you'd call this the mother plant. This is the one that I took cuttings from. And this again in my new place will grow much, much bigger, but it's just in this little pot for now. We move into the bathroom. One thing a lot of people have said to me is you can't possibly grow things in your bathroom if you don't have a window. There's no light. Well, as you can see, there is light in this bathroom. I've got 2 overhead LED lights. I've got a lot of plants that grow very happily in here. Excuse the noise in the background. That is from the construction site. This shower has been for the last 18 months a greenhouse for me. So I had it full of plants and they made a complete mess of it. But as I'm going to be moving, we had to clean it out. So my lovely cleaner, Tina, came last week, and I said to her, just concentrate on the shower. That's all I want you to do. It needs a hell of a lot of work, and she's done a fabulous job. This thing, you could not tell that it had plants living in it up until last week. The floor was covered, and there were bits and pieces going up the walls, and but she's just done a sterling job. Now, because I had this as a greenhouse, I did have a little grow light. It's not super strong, but I've had this little grow light, which is on an automatic timer and comes on and off. And if you have an extra shower in your house, but you don't have room for a greenhouse, turn it into a greenhouse by putting lots of plants in it and giving it some light. This is just on a extendable curtain rod that I bought. So all cheap solutions, but this has grown lots and lots of plants for me. This is just another pot of Tradescantia, and this is what is this one? This one is it's an alocasia. This is a macrorrhiza. I can't remember what that says. Low rider. It's called Low Rider. And it's kind of got frilly leaves, and that's quite pretty. That just lives there. Now, up the top here, I have a series of spider plants. These aren't the curly ones. These are the normal ones. And I water them maybe every 6 to 7 weeks. Just dump some water in them, and they tell me when they need it because they go gray, but those are all growing quite happily there. So again, in ambient light, you can, without a window, grow lots and lots of plants in your bathroom. If we move along to here, I set up these, always looking for more space for plants. I made myself some shelves. I'm renting, so I didn't want to put anything on the walls that would damage them. So I've put this up. Obviously, things have moved around because I'm selling stuff, so this looked a lot better when they had the plants that were meant to be on them. But I have here, this is a Dieffenbachia, which was much, much taller, and I cut it back last summer and grew some babies out of the cuttings. And then this is the mother plant, which is growing back up. And obviously, because I cut it off and there weren't any roots, the leaves coming out are smaller, but it's still healthy and growing, and it will continue to grow. This is an alocasia green shield. This leaf is the oldest leaf that I had. This went dormant in like most of my alocasia, went dormant this winter, but it's coming out with a new leaf here. This is still quite tender, but it will get bigger, and I'm sure that will bounce back. This is a pot of Siltepecana, Monstera siltepecana and Adamsonia, and that will only go better and better as the summer goes on. In this one, this is a Philodendron imbe, and this is a Tropic Marianne Syngonium, which is growing. These are just growing in the little pots that I sell for $5. And then here's another Siltepecana. If you have a Marianne in lots of light, this bit here in the center will be white, but for this plant, because it is growing in low light, it's just a bit of yellow, but that's just to have a bit of greenery. These have been very successful. I've had lots of different plants here over the years, and I got these from Temu, and they're just hanging up with 3M hooks, so they don't do any damage, but they look really, really pretty. I like the triangle shape as well. For some reason that pleases me, the triangle shape with the plant in them. So that is a Syngonium Velvet Splash, which is doing very well, very happy here. It's growing towards the lights, but that's quite nice. I like that. And of course I will, or I could grow this up a moss pole if I wanted to, but I quite like it like that for the moment. That one is a Ripsalis, which I took some cuttings of and tried to grow and failed miserably at. So that one is just recovering. It probably does need more light, so in the new place I will get some more light for that one. This is the Tropic Marianne that I took cuttings from that other one was showing, and that's a little bit more light that gets to this one, so that's why this leaf is like this, and then I've got some where the leaf is completely white in a higher light area. But that one's looking very pretty as well. People don't seem to rate Dieffenbachia very highly, but it's so effective for a corner like this to give you some greenery and some interest. I really like it. And I think more people should get into them. You don't want to get the sap on your hands and then in your mouth, because it can numb up your mouth. That's why it's called a dumb cane. That's one of the words for it. Common words that people call it. And it's because when you take it, you can paralyze your mouth. So you definitely don't want to ingest it. My cats, well, one of my cats has sadly passed away, but people say, oh, you can't have this plant or you can't have that plant because they, because, you know, the cats are allergic or cats will die, they're poisonous. My cats might take one chomp out of something or just smell something, and they can tell if it's poisonous or not. They do love to eat spider plants, but that's kind of like cat grass to them, I think, and it makes them throw up, which is what you want, because they get hairballs and they have to throw them up somehow, and the cat grass and the spider plants aid in that digestion. But they don't really touch any of the other plants, which is amazing, because so many people restrict what they buy for their animals because the people say that, oh, they're toxic. Anyway, that is a little Christmas cactus, and this flowered in here this year. So I was amazed. I thought to myself, I'll never get anything to flower in here because of the lack of natural light. But this actually flowered. And it has the most beautiful, this one had fuchsia flowers. The same plant has given me pink flowers in other areas and even deep red flowers. But this cutting here threw out some fuchsia, which was just stunning. That is a tiny little spathiphyllum cutting that's just growing. I'm just leaving it. It'll be happy in there. This is another self-watering pot that I have, and this has got the exotica, and it's got 2 of the heartleaf philodendron cuttings in it. This is, I quite like this. This is a cylindrica, Sansevieria cylindrica, and this one is growing. Well, you can see that these, like I said before, these leaves have splayed out and lost their cylindrical shape. But the new one coming in now has that cylindrical shape back. And the ones behind, there's one leaf there that splayed out, but then the others coming through are cylindrical. So I don't know much about Sansevieria. I just let them grow as they want to. And this one's quite happy. This is a Mother of Thousands plant. And Mother of Thousands plants, like their name, create thousands of babies, and so you have them popping up all over the place once you get one. They are considered an invasive pest weed in lots of places, so you might not want them. I like them. They're quite pretty when they get bigger, and they're a good filler as well. This is a little spathiphyllum, which is looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment, and that is because my lovely cat Thomas, well, he doesn't eat them. He does love to put his nose into plants, and this is perfect height for him. And he will put his nose right in there and rub around, and it makes him feel good. So that's fine if he wants to do that with this one. That's not a problem. This plant is 25 years old, maybe a bit older. This is the first spathiphyllum that I ever actually bought, and it has given me thousands and thousands of babies, and it is in thousands of places around the country. I just can't kill these. I don't know. I know a lot of people have problems with them, but maybe because this is so old, it wasn't tissue cultured or whatever. It's a really strong genes in this plant, but it will die. It will sort of droop right down, and then I will water it and it will spring back up. And if you let it do that, it also encourages flowering. So that's terrific. And I've got a number of those around the place. And then this is a little bamboo, lucky bamboo, which somebody gave me a few years ago. And it's just in a pot, and it's just another bit of green. And it's almost reaching the ceiling now. So I will chop this one down. It has pupped. So it has given me a little pup here. And I think it's probably going to do some more. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this in the new place. It depends which place I get and where, what kind of light I can give it. But I just love bamboo. You can see that I've got a bamboo stake tied up to the bamboo to keep it steady. But I like the way it kind of curves as well. It's very pretty. Right, so that is the plants in my bathroom. So we might just move out to the balcony now. And I've got a lot of the plants that were inside up against the walls and things, and they were hooked on the walls. I have taken off, and they are sitting over here. So I can go through those with you in a minute. However, this is looking a bit of a mess, but I'm actually going to be cleaning out these troughs, one a day for the next few days, and so that everything will be ready to move, because these are extremely heavy when they're full of soil. You can't move them. I mean, removalists could, but they don't want to move with loose soil and things like that. So I'm going to take all the plants out, put them in pots or some sort of containers, and then we can move with them. These are snow peas, which are growing nicely. These fix nitrogen into the soil, so I like them, and also they're yummy to eat. These are probably a bit old to eat now, but these are good seeds for next year or for later on. Oh, here's one. This one would be good to eat right now. This one would be yummy and sweet. So I might pick that one this afternoon. Once the sun has gotten to it, the sugars will rise in it and it will be absolutely delicious. And I've got some more here growing, as you can see. This is my one of my great big monsteras. It's a little bit worse for wear because of winter. And I will be obviously taking this with me. But this one is one that I'm probably going to chop up. But have a look at the side of the stems in there. That's pretty big. Not as big as my other one, but it's pretty big. And it's a bit of a jungle in there. But I like having big plants. I have a number of, this is looking worse for wear because of winter and I haven't really paid any attention to plants out here. But you can see, look at that marble queen up the top there. I don't know if you can see how big that is, but that is about 1.5 times the size of my hand, that one right up the top there. I'm going to obviously take these off the wall and take everything apart. So that's another big task to be done. This passion fruit vine that's growing over this archway here. I thought to myself, I'll grow passion fruit. That'll be great. And then they all got mealy bugs last year. So I stripped them all out. And this one's grown back over winter. I will be stripping it out again and taking just the bottom of it. So I'll cut it off. And if it regrows, it regrows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. This is a Brazil, which is growing in this pot and also growing up the sides. Down here, that is a philodendron silver sword, which is looking very silvery there. When these get mature, they actually lobe out, which is interesting. But at the moment, that's just a baby. But I will be growing in my new place once I'll be growing them out. Down here, you can see that I have a pot that is full of Maranta and some snow queens. And I think I had, I've got some neon pothos in there too. I just shoved a lot of things in and put them out on the balcony, and they've just grown. They're quite happy there. And they're pretty, and as you can see, growing new leaves for spring. Everything's growing new for spring. This is a Zetland. I can't really show you that one, but I will, you'll see it in a new way. But that's a Zetland, which is growing its own little pot and is very happy. I have some raspberries here, and these flower, is that going to focus? Yeah. These flower and will produce raspberries for me. It's not incredibly prolific because, again, I only get late afternoon sun here, but hopefully in the new place I'll be able to put it in a place, the canes in a place where it can grow, and I'll get lots and lots, probably not this year, but next year I might get lots and lots of raspberries from it. And then the plants are, the troughs are just filled with anything. There's really no rhyme or reason to them. Over winter, I cleared everything out because the Tradescantia went wild and smothered everything. So I cleared all of it out and just planted things in these pots, in these troughs, sorry, so that they could be, have something in them to cover nature for winter. Down here, I've got pots, troughs, little troughs growing underneath the troughs. And that is some devil's ivy and some golden pothos. That one's looking a bit worse for wear. That got a bit wet. We had a hell of a lot of rain for quite a long time, and I didn't bother coming out here, and I realized that some of the plants got a bit drowned. But that's okay, that's life. And everything will grow back, and if not, it doesn't. In here, I've got some what are they, stag heads or something, and that's another Sansevieria there. It looks to me like you are going Oh no, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. Just thought to myself that it's not really looking very clear. Oh, that's better. Yep. So it's focusing. Can't really focus in the distance if it's used to focusing in the uh in the ear. Anyway, close up. This is my Florida mint. Oh no, sorry. This is my Florida, and this one is my Florida mint. And the Florida mint, I'll show you the difference because they're right next to each other, so that's pretty good. So we bring them out. You can see that is a new leaf of the Florida, and this is the Florida is just the green version, and that is, I mean, they're beautiful, but that is the leaf and the color. The mint comes out in this color, which is rather minty, and then it can throw some more green leaves, but it also throws some sort of half moon leaves. This one got stunted for some reason. Nature is imperfect, and that is her beauty. But we've got some more minty ones coming from here. Yeah, again, these Floridas are not really very popular in my sales, but I think they're stunning. I think it's just that the new plant parents don't really know what they are, so they don't know what they're looking at. However, that's life, and they will learn, and I will keep on cutting and making propagations, and hopefully people will learn to like them and come to know what they are, and then will be interested in purchasing it, because it's a good plant to have in your collection. This is my El Choco Red, and that leaf is just stunning. You going to focus for me? Yes, there we are. You can see the size of the leaf. And this is growing on a moss pole, a little moss pole. And it is looking very, very happy. This was inside. Now that it's spring, I've chucked it on the balcony so I can have some room to pack things up. But that one is quite nice and happy. Looking alone. This is my White Princess, which I chopped up last year because it was looking very scraggly, and see how it's got no leaves there? Well, that was a lot of the stem, so I chopped it all up and repotted it, and it's now growing relatively happily, which is good. Back here in this trough, I have some Xanadu. That's the latest leaf of the Xanadu. That I got from a cutting on the side of the road here in Sydney. They grow like weeds. Just cutting it up into there. And this one is a, can I focus in on it? Yep. That one is a pothos. That is the variegata, just the green variegata pothos. Just growing nicely and pretty. I've taken lots of cuttings of that. This is my Syngonium batik, which is gorgeous and is getting its best little life. Here is another trough, and this is some more golden pothos, so all of this will come out. I think this might be a gardenia that I bought as stock, seed stock, or tube stock, sorry, tube stocks for Bunnings. And just popped it in there. This is a bit of an Nanook, which I chucked out here. As I said, I just chucked everything in before winter just to cover everything, because this is the Tradescantia, and this is what I mean by it goes wild. So let's see if that will focus. No, it doesn't want to focus at all. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to turn you off again in a while because that's not going to focus for me. And I'll come back later when the machine has cooled down. But you can see that this is prolifically budding and it's going to flower. But it grows just weedy-like. And which is great because it covers Mother Nature and that's what she wants. But it does sort of smother out other plants. Okay, I'm going to stop here now because I can't get you to focus. Can I get you to focus on there? No, it doesn't want to focus. Okay, we will turn her off and start her up later.